Anyway.
Darn connection. Welcome to the Green Room.
Oh, I can't hardly see my green lights.
It looks almost a little bit blue today.
Yeah, I think I got too many green lights. You see them?
Oh, way in the back?
Yeah.
Are they like
I think
neon?
yeah, I think they're too bright. I think they're kind of messing it up. Anyway.
I'm in the dungeon, your favorite room that you like me to record in. I know. I'm trying to. I've actually. You would not believe how much time I've spent trying to find something to put back here that would make you happy.
You know, since I got a better look at that, it actually looks pretty nice. It's too gray for my taste, but I mean, you said you had it redone. And it was nice, and it does look nice.
But
I
see,
like the pattern.
from your standpoint, it does probably look kind of boring. But I'm very particular about what I want to put back here.
So were you going to tell us about your exciting week?
Oh my gosh.
Or are we just going to do decorations?
Actually, my week leads into what I thought we should talk about this week. Anybody who's been following my personal page on Facebook or pretty much any of my media, I'm still having airline troubles and baggage troubles. We'll just leave it at that. It's been a week now, and it's involved 4 airlines and a lot more gray hairs. So I was thinking about how stressed I've been all week. But also, I don't know if you were working or if you caught Ian's bit to premise a couple of weeks ago, and I had thrown something in the hat for them to toss around, and it had to do with me losing a large sum of money a few years ago. And at the time, pardon me, I got itch. At the time, Ian said, ooh, is this something that's going to be pretty hard for you to talk about? And in this particular instance, it was 10 years ago. So I'm well beyond, now it's like, let's bring on the jokes. This was a terrible, unfortunate situation, and I'm totally over it. But I started thinking about that, like this nightmare airline baggage situation I'm having. I think it will be perfect comedy fodder at some point. But we're not there yet. I am still a true redhead over this situation. And it's like, I thought, let's talk about that. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear what everybody else who's watching this has to say about if you're upset about something, I think we're probably all in agreement that we should be writing it down because that might make for great comedy.
Yeah, Bubba.
But when do you, polish it up, funny it up, and then B, when do you perform it? So that's my lead-in. So I want to turn it over to you for now and see what you feel about that.
I think your stress level over the luggage is probably about, on a scale of 1 to 10, right around there.
Well, that's not bad. I was going to say about 25 out of 1 to 10.
And I think that if you're going to make jokes about it, you're going to need your stress level to get down to, well, I'd say at least a 6.5.
I would think a 0. I don't want any more stress over this.
Yeah. Well, I think that this stuff is great for comedy, and I think it's probably why most of us are here is because we have stress in our lives, and we've had, some of us, or maybe most of us even, have had some bad childhood experiences. Like me, I grew up in a home with 4 older sisters, an alcoholic mother, and a rageaholic father. It was pretty stressful, and I used comedy to cope. But more up to date, to your point, I got about 2 million miles driving trailer trucks all across this wonderful country. And I'll tell you what, I've got some trucking stories.
Ooh, I bet you do.
I can't even talk about because I'm afraid somebody will know who's involved in the story is going to get me in jail for something I did driving a truck. That not likely, but I've done I've done some things I'm not real proud
What
of.
time frame are you talking about? Like, did this happen a long time ago or somewhat recently?
Well, I really started driving trucks around 1990 and stopped driving trucks last year, but not continuously, on and off. I mostly alternated between trucks and auto mechanic and then other little things in between.
So
Those are my two biggest goals.
some of the moments that might have brought you the greatest angst could only have been a year ago. I mean, you're not talking about something happened 15 years ago.
Yeah, the stuff that was the more stressful stuff was when I was doing the long haul coast to coast stuff, and that was years ago. I haven't done any of that for quite a while. Like I drove locally, drove a precast concrete truck, delivered septic tanks and stuff like that, and I operated a big crane. That was local, straight truck. Sometimes I'd pull a trailer, but it was just a straight 10-wheeler.
Have you done comedy bits about that stuff yet?
I've started writing some of it down. Like I wrote a story about, I have a story. It's an interesting story about how I lost a set of wheels on my trailer going from Lackawanna, New York to the southern mountains of the Appalachians in Pennsylvania. Lost a set of wheels someplace in the middle of the night in a rainstorm, doing like 75 down the turnpike the whole way. Got there and found the wheels were missing. It's kind of a funny story. It's an interesting story. It's like 3 pages long. So obviously I have to condense it a little bit and have to make it funny. It's an interesting story and it's got funny bits, but it's not comedy. It's just a funny story.
Well, that's a good point, because I've heard a lot of comics get up and they're clearly upset about something and you're like still waiting for the funny, and it's not. It's like their therapy session. It's like,
Exactly.
Well, dude.
So I don't really know what the answer is. I think time is one thing, but like I listen to people like Sam Kinison. I don't know if he's really angry in real life, but boy, he sure sounds really angry when he does his comedy, when he starts screaming. And somehow I don't freak out. I mean, I'm not crazy about his comedy in general, but I think, because I grew up with a rageaholic father, when somebody yells, well, not so much anymore. I've matured and gotten used to it, and I've had some therapy. But it used to be someone started. It was like PSDT. In fact, I think I've never been diagnosed, but I think I actually have PSDT from my father's yelling. It was that bad, to the point that he'd scream and I would just freeze. It'd be like a bomb went off next to me. I'd be like, to the point that if I'm in public and someone yells, I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack. I just about jump out of my skin. And if I'm in the workplace and somebody yells, then, I want to run away. I'm scared. But I've matured to a point where that I still react most of the time. But sometimes if someone isn't too loud, I don't react. I just notice it.
Hey, before you go on, as you can tell, I don't have my glasses on again.
Okay.
So do you want to check? Is anybody commenting? I don't want to just leave anybody hanging, because I would love to hear everyone's feedback. What do you think about emotions? When is there a good time? I mean, if you're still a little bit edgy about it, is it good to talk about it, or should you wait till it is long enough that you can just make the whole thing funny?
I'll run you down through what I can read here. Jonathan gave us an exclamation point followed by a fake brick wall. Not really sure. Like a comedy club. And then he said, and he started down the hill that heads in Scranton, Pennsylvania. But close. He's in the ballpark. Actually, it was going the opposite direction. I went all the way across the whole state on Interstate 80 and then south on 81. Scranton would have been north, into the mountains and to Gordon. Can't believe I remembered it. Gordon, Pennsylvania, to International Wood Products, I think is the name of the place. And I've got pictures. I got to show you the pictures because I had to go through this 1-lane tunnel on this steep hill with S curves on the way up. I really didn't think I was going to make it. It's like
with your big semi truck you're going?
Yeah. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. I am scared to death, and I am climbing this mountain, and I don't know where I am. I thought I was on the wrong road. Well, I was on the wrong road, but it did get me there. and I'm halfway up the side of this mountain, and there's a 1-lane tunnel that I don't even think is high enough to get through. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to stop back down this mountain. I can't. I got to go. So I just said, screw it. I put the pedal to the metal, and I just dropped a gear and gave her some corn. And
gave her some corn? Wait. You what?
Oh, that's one of our biker slogans. Give her some corn. Give her
I
the
was
throttle.
gonna say I thought that meant something else.
Yeah. Well, first bikers, give her the corn means twist the throttle. We'll say, twist that corn, give her some corn there, boy. So I was giving her corn. Yeah, I
don't know what you're giving.
I had popcorn coming out, both the exhaust stacks.
That sounds like a Bugs Bunny cartoon. Didn't who was it, the Roadrunner or something was always running into the top like they didn't make the clearance? And they were.
Yeah.
Anyway. So Jonathan's sending you a brick wall?
Because I lost a set of wheels on one side of my truck, the trailer was leaning pretty hard. So as I went through the tunnel, I dragged the lumber, was dragging against one side of the tunnel. And I didn't even know it. I just kept going.
You couldn't hear it? Wasn't it loud?
No, it's way the hell. It's 50 feet behind me.
Oh.
And I got the windows up. It was cold. And,
well, you mentioned Sam Kinison, but aren't there some other comics now who their persona, their voice is kind of angry comedian?
Well, I like to say that the last few years of George Carlin's life, we refer to them as the angry years. I don't even really like watching him that much. I only watch him because he's George Carlin. But I mean, the angry years were not really fun. So that's actually the opposite of what you said. He's actually gone from pretty funny, and I don't think he was angry, or maybe he was, but I thought he was really funny. Became more angry, whereas we're actually kind of talking about getting less angry.
Well, and I was talking to Jonathan earlier. We were talking about anger and this subject, and how he was saying that that's a really good time for him to just, just start writing big time. And you'd be surprised what comes out of your mouth, even if maybe, and that was my suggestion, that perhaps don't quite perform it yet, but don't miss out on that prime opportunity to just start spewing whatever's going on and getting it down. And even for me, it's very therapeutic to hammer out on the keyboard. And another thing, you should know I'm typing this with one finger.
Right. Let me catch up here. I missed a couple of comments. Steve Riviera is watching. Hi, Steve. Welcome to the Green Room.
How's the comedy club going, Steve?
Excuse me. I just had a piece of pizza I probably shouldn't have eaten. Jim just joined us. Welcome to the Green Room, Jim. From bad shit grows good vegetables, says Jonathan. What kind of a vegetable are you?
Lewis Black. Yeah, he's kind of a grumpy old man.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, somebody at work had mentioned Lewis Black when I was talking about this stuff. And but he kind of talks about angry stuff, but he doesn't really sound angry to me when he talks. He just sounds funny, though he has that angry persona.
Which is probably ideal, right? Because
yeah.
I don't know if there is a right answer.
Well, I think Lewis Black is a great example of that, because I think we can identify with his angry persona as we're all pissed off about the same thing he's pissed off about. So it's like, yeah, he understands us. We're all pissed off, but yet he says it in such a way that you sense he's angry about it, but you don't feel like he's attacking you. He's really good at making it funny without, I don't know, whatever it is, he does it right, because I
haven't seen him in a while. I'll have to pull up another one of his specials and try to look at it with that set of eyes to see.
Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely going to be asking everybody to help out with this mess, because if anyone's missed it, the Reader's Digest version is my daughter traveled to Ecuador a week ago and she still doesn't have her luggage. And they're all blaming each other, saying it's not our fault. They did it. We don't know where it is. And so it's not just that it's a missing luggage. It's an adult child traveled by herself without bags. And people are just lying to me. So I think
I
it would be
knew
better
that happened.
if I got community input on that, because I still think it's going to be a while before I'm not just pissed off mom. And that's not what I want. I mean, I want my audience to have fun.
Well, see, if you didn't kill the alligator for the luggage, and you just stuffed the luggage inside the alligator while it's still alive and told the alligator to start walking, it would probably be there by now.
Yeah. But you know,
Bill has joined us.
who it is?
Jonathan says her bags are in Bora Bora, drinking a drink with an umbrella in it.
Playing with the GoPro that's in her bag. Who just joined us? I missed it.
Phil of Landriot.
Oh, good. Phil's here.
I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but that looks French, so I would say Landriot.
Put some. No, that's how do French?
Trill.
Blah blah.
Trill.
Blah blah blah.
A German trill. Landriot. All right, let's not pick on Phil.
No, it's not. I love the French. It's such a beautiful language.
Oui.
Have you seen the episode from
Today's
Friends? Friends, when Joey's like, French it up, blah blah blah.
That sounds familiar.
French it up.
All I can think of is Meg Ryan in French Kiss when she goes to France and she's staying at the hotels. The Georges V. This is Georges V. It's like, I'm sure we left from some back hotel, some backwoods hotel. We protect our guests even if they need a protection from their own wives.
Oh, now you sound like Steve Martin. Wasn't he Inspector Clouseau or something?
No, that was Peter Sellers.
Am I mixing things up? I'm mixing.
But that's okay. That's okay because I wasn't really doing it right anyway. So it probably did sound like Peter Sellers. As the Pink Panther movies, I have all the I have a box set of Pink Panther movies on DVD. Love Peter Sellers. Chief Inspector Clouseau of the city. Oh crap!
You know, we didn't do our midweek green room outside of this secret club like we usually do.
I know you were too stressed out.
It was not good. This is probably the first time all week that I've managed to smile without using these fingers. That's so awesome.
You were at a level 11, just like Spinal Tap. Roy, these ones go to 11. You know, like you want just that little bit louder. Most amps go to 10. All amps go to 11 for that one extra.
Okay, but let's get back to our topic at hand, because here's another situation. I heard another comic, a local one, and telling us about the story, and it was such a long setup. And I think that's such a hard balance, because obviously if somebody's that irritated, there usually is a lot of setup, but the audience doesn't need all that. So that's a balancing act, right? I mean, like I just told you in probably 90 seconds my suitcase woes, but the truth is it's encompassed 8 days. So I can't tell a joke that encompasses and then he said, and then I said, and then I said. So then, I mean, you have to really edit ruthlessly and get to the punch.
Yeah. Well, they say you want to try to get a laugh every, 10 to 20 seconds?
How many laughs per minute is it? Yeah, that's a good goal to strive for.
Yeah. So when you're telling you can tell a long story, but it's got to keep getting laughs. And I've heard people do long stories. I've watched comedians on YouTube. I can't think of anyone by name right now, but where they'll do a bit that's like 15 minutes long.
John Mulaney does a lot of that. Same topic.
But even though it's 15 minutes on one story about, maybe it's about my kids. So my kids, they're terrible. They leave the screen door open and they turn the heat up and I don't know what. But every 20 seconds, there's still a laugh. There's still a punch every 20 seconds in that long story.
Well, they're probably looking at each little line essentially as a new joke, just to have an overall. I talk with my hands a lot, don't I? Did I just hit my mic again? But yeah, so I don't think there's anything wrong with. What are you doing? A puppet? Are you a puppeteer? What the heck are you doing? It looks like Loch Ness Monster. Why are you messing with my mind? That's not right. Something's not right.
Trying to cheer you up. It's just anti-luggage stuff.
Luggage. Hey, you know what I did tell you, though? I don't know if I told you. I can't remember. I got a call this afternoon and says, this is so-and-so. I've been asked to call you by the CEO of LATAM Airlines, which tells me I must have made enough noise on the internet.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell us you got a job.
No, that's one of the airlines involved in this whole mess. He said, I'm calling on behalf of the CEO on a Sunday afternoon.
Wow. So when you talk to the CEO, you're gonna say you want some money in the end of this.
Well,
all the luggage plus
first I need to just get her bag. Let's get that first. But yeah, I looked at my cell phone and it was like Ecuador calling. Well, no, first it was Ecuador calling and then Chile. Chile, not chili that you eat. Not chili that you always are. Chile. All right, so we know Lewis Black. Who else we got? All right. I know, I was thinking, because I want to go back now and check out some of these comics that fall under the Angry Bird category. Not Angry Bird. You know what I mean? Because there's probably a finesse to how you do it. So it's funny angry and not pissed off angry.
Right, exactly. And I've been working on that myself, and it's not easy, because when I talk about trucking and traffic, people on the road pissing me off, it's like I start talking about it, I start reliving the anger. So I think a part of that is doing some soul searching and dealing with your inner anger and resolving your own, getting into a space where you're not angry. So when you tell the story, you're not reliving the anger, you're just sharing the story.
I suppose anybody who talks about an ex in their comedy bits is susceptible to that same thing. You know, if they think it's almost therapeutic, but then all of a sudden, before you know it, they're envisioning their crap getting thrown out the window and walking in on their best buddy. You know, it's just like, it's happening all over again.
Right.
So
Oh,
there you go.
I can't understand the comments.
They're not coming up for me. Do I have to keep hitting refresh? Let's pause.
Well, I don't know. I'm checking the comments on Facebook and on the phone, and they don't match. It's like, I don't know what the heck's going on. Jonathan says the quote was from Harry Chapin, 20,000 pounds of bananas. And I have no idea what he's talking about.
That was 12 minutes ago. Were you speaking French then? Blip, blip, blip.
Was he talking about the board?
Jonathan, you got to help us out a little bit, buddy, because we're a little bit slow sometimes. I can't remember what anybody said 12 minutes ago.
I want to do some jokes about my job. You know, I can't tell you where I work. I only took this job so I can get more material.
Oh, absolutely. That's when I work part-time in the donut shop. I mean, it's fun, but that's exactly why. It's not like I'm getting rich off of slinging donuts and you cutting whatever you... What do you got going there?
Bullshit level, DEFCON 5. Oh, come on now. That ain't even bullshit. That's horse shit.
What is that
got to have
from?
one of these.
Warning, warning, bullshit alert.
I almost got fired. I almost got fired for doing that at work.
You brought that into work with you?
Not this job. You know, about 10 or 15 jobs ago. Somebody pushed the button while the boss was walking by, and she's like, "What's that? What's that? What's that?" She thought somebody was talking to her. She's like, "That's not appropriate. Take that home."
You know what I have found, though, since I've been doing stand-up, it's much easier for me to deal with idiots because, I mean, if it's not a huge big deal that I'm intimately involved in, like this mess this week, but aside from that, all I do is in my mind, I think, oh yeah, you just keep it up there, honey pie, because you're going to be part of my next bit. You know, it's like I get some sort of satisfaction knowing, thank you, you just gave me my next bit, and I refuse to get mad about it because, thank you. I've been talking about you.
That's what I've been doing. I've been writing down stuff every day at work. So something happens, and I just make it note in my phone notes. Oh, I gotta remember that one. So.
No, we're not 15 minutes time delayed, Jonathan. We're just slow. Oh, I'm sorry, are we keeping you up, Jareth?
No.
All right, well, we're actually almost at the half-hour mark.
I'm not used to working.
You got anything going this week?
Okay.
John,
nope.
Can you read Jonathan's comments, or do you want me to put my glasses on?
Let me check they're not working on Facebook. Let me check the phone. He says, I broke up with a gift, and I said the best part of our relationship was she gave me great material.
I think that's probably girlfriend.
Broke up with a gift. I love gifts. I wouldn't break up with a gift.
I do too. I'm sure I overuse them. I love them. But yeah, exactly, John. You got to get something out of the relationship.
Yeah, I had a situation like that. Broke up with a girl, and she wasn't even my girlfriend. We didn't talk for about 6 months. And you know what the problem is with that, though, is now we're friends again. So I don't want to use the jokes I have about her because
she'll know.
They're kind of insulting. And if she ever sees my show, she's got to know I'm talking about her, and I don't see any way around it. So I haven't done that. But actually, I did do one joke about her, but it was it was a kind of a dick joke, and I got people said, oh, that's a dick joke, and I don't like dick jokes because they're too overused. I said dick.
Although, I mean, I don't care for them either, but I would rather hear a dick joke than a woman talk about her hoo-ha joke. I don't know why. But it's just like, ugh, honey, I don't want to hear about that. Close the muffin shop. I don't want to hear about that.
Yep.
Anyway.
Yeah, there's a comedian around here that does that, and I don't like it, but other people do, so I'm not saying anything.
All right, well, this week...
I like her. She's nice. She's a great person, but I find her humor offensive, which is really weird because I don't think of myself as a snowflake.
Let's see. Well, it's up to me, I'm sure, but let's see if we can do a midweek Green Room edition on one of our Facebook pages. I can't keep track whose turn it is. And then... We'll look at our schedule, see who's got what going on. We'll see if I can get this mystery solved, or wouldn't that be horrible if next Sunday I was still in the middle of this?
The continuing saga of Laurie's luggage.
Well, Laurie's daughter's luggage, so it's Mama Bear who is fit to be tied here.
Mama Bear.
Mama Bear. Mama Bear.
Mama Bear alert.
Get my baby her underlings, please.
We got the honey bear in the bear den.
All right, so we'll figure out a time. We'll tell everybody. If you're not friends with us on Facebook, you should be. You really should be.
Yes, sir.
And then you should join your comedy page too. But if you're friends with us, because it'll be on our personal pages, not our comedy pages.
Right. We can't do this from our comedy pages, right? Is that what we figured out for some reason? It's got to be on our regular profiles.
I don't remember. Well, maybe we just thought we had more people liked us on our profiles.
Well, that could be. I do have 1,467 acquaintances on Facebook.
Approximately.
But only a few hundred people like
Yeah,
my comedy.
I think my
page.
ratio is similar. So maybe that's why we did it, because we want to scoop them all up. We want all of our fans to go. Oh, dear Lord. I guess I didn't finish doing my nails, did I? I've been busy. I can't be bothered to do more than one hand.
It's okay. I didn't do mine either, see?
Oh, well. All right, well, you were yawning, so you need to go to bed. I don't want to bore all of our hundreds of fans. Thank you for playing along, Jonathan, and for others for joining us. When you watch the playback, please comment. I would love to hear what you think about how when you're angry, write it down immediately, probably, but when do you feel like it's okay to perform it? Yeah.
When you're not angry.
Which might be years for some of
It
us.
could be never. It could be never.
It just might be therapeutic just to write it down then.
Definitely is. No question about it. I do writing stuff down is always helpful. And you've got to write down the stuff that's in your head to make room for new stuff. Because if you're really angry about something like the airplane losing your luggage, it runs around inside your head, around and around and around and around and around and around and around. You can't come up with anything new. So you write it down, and you keep writing, and you keep writing, and you keep writing until your head goes empty and you can't think.
Hey, you guys, it's Laurie. I just wanted to pop on really quick and apologize for that abrupt ending of the live that we were just doing. I have been, as you had heard, I have had an airline nightmare for the last 8 days. And I had an unknown call come in on my cell phone, and I had to grab it. And they found my daughter's luggage, and it is currently in Galapagos Island. And so now we have to make arrangements for them to get it, blah, 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 blah. So I hope you know that that was totally unprofessional of me, and I never would have just like blanked out and left y'all hanging without saying goodbye. I know I gotta go see if we can get the luggage back to her. But it was one of those deals that is like, I'm sorry, but I gotta go, and I gotta go now. So I just wanted to pop back on and say that's why the Green Room ended so abruptly this week. So thank you for joining. If you did not get a chance to, well, of course you didn't because it just ended. But hi, Paul. So check out the replay. And again, apologies in advance for how abruptly it ended. But isn't that good news? I am so excited. So that's all. Have a great Sunday night, and I will be in touch. Thank you.